Hello everyone and welcome to another video about Chinese characters. In this video I will talk about the character that you see on the screen, which is pronounced Jin, and it means metal, or gold. Several other meanings, but most of them can be traced back to these two main meanings of this character. And before I started making this video, it just occurred to me that this character has another pretty interesting meaning. It's an interesting fact to know about this character. It is also a surname in Chinese and other languages, and also in Korean. And there are three pretty famous people who have this. I guess you know these people who have this surname, and that would be the North Korean leaders. So Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-un, and Kim Jong-il, all three of them, the Kim Korean surname is basically this character, Jin Kim. It's the same character, so I just thought that would be an interesting fact that you might want to know. Alright, so the reason why I chose this character for this video is, there are two reasons actually. The first one is that it is very interesting from a its structural point of view, and it is a character that is often misinterpreted when it comes to its structure too. So the things that I've read about this character and how people usually interpret it, or one of the interpretations, is that the reason why it means metal or gold is that it used to be a picture of a bell. That basically the original character, not this one that you see here, but the one that it is based on, some ancient character from 3,000, 2,500 years ago, used to be a picture of a bell, and that this is basically just its modern, simplified, and formatted version, and that's why it means metal and gold, because somehow the meaning shifted from bell to metal or gold. This is unfortunately not true, and I try to basically, one of the aims of my videos is to disseminate these interpretations of characters that seem very plausible and sometimes poetic, but they're wrong, unfortunately. And it really doesn't take too much sometimes. In this case, for instance, all I need to do is to go back into some ancient dictionaries and to look at what the definition or meaning of this character was then. So for instance, in 100 AD or 200 BC and so on, and see how it relates to what you see and the components that you can see in the character. So based on this very simple research, this character consists of three parts, and I used colors to indicate these parts: orange, green, and blue. And it is a phonosemantic character, which means, for those of you who've been watching my videos, know it's a character where there is something in it, a component in it, which is telling you how to read the character as a whole, and another component or components in it which tell you what the character means. Obviously, these two characters, this is going to be the evolution, so this is the base and this is the modern version. So the phonetic part of the character, the part of the character which is telling you how to read it, is this orange part, this one over here, and it is pronounced Jin. So the top part of the character, the orange part of the character, is Jin, and the pronunciation of the character as a whole is Jin as well, which is quite rare because usually these pronunciations don't match. Here we have even the tone matching, so it's quite rare. But very clearly, this is the phonetic part of the whole character. This orange part, by the way, if you write it as a standalone character, even today, and let me try to do it with this tablet, it's going to be a little bit hard, but let me try. So it's basically this character, which means today. Well, not the way I wrote it, but it's this character. So it means today is pronounced Jin, and it gives the sound to the character Jin, which means metal, gold. And the remaining two elements or components in the character are, and let me again try to write this, so one of them is Tu, which means earth or soil, and the two strokes are only, let me just write them, are the nuggets of gold or metal that you can find in earth and in soil. So together they point to the meaning, basically probably golden ore, iron ore, metal ore in general, and Jin, the top of the character, is giving you the sound. The reason why I find this character very interesting is that usually when you have phonosemantic compound characters, that is characters that have one element telling you what the character means and the other one how to read it, usually there's one phonetic element and one semantic element only. So only two elements per character. In this case, we have three. One component or element for the sound and two components or elements for the meaning. So I find it very interesting. It's quite rare, I think. I can think of three characters right now, actually, that are of this kind. The one that I was talking about in the previous video is also of this kind, so quite rare. And now the interesting part, as to why this character is so often misinterpreted is that if you look at the transition, so if you compare this character over here to this character over here, the bottom is preserved, right? We have tu over here, but the two strokes are there too. They look a little bit different, but the top part, the jin, is gone. You can't see it. And by the way, this jin over here and this jin over here, they don't match, of course, because this is the way you used to write jin in this script, in the seal script. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. This is the seal script version of the character, right? 200 BC or BCE. So this is the way you used to write jin, this character, at that time. But it also changed. Today you write it like this. But in the transition, in this particular character, from this step to this step, the jin got distorted. You don't see it like that anymore. That is why it is very simple to misinterpret the structure of this character. For instance, we see the tu, but this whole structure over here looks suspiciously similar to this character, which is Wang, right? And then we have another character. If you just add a little stroke over here, this is Yu. Wang means king, and Yu means jade. So it's very easy to start creating all sorts of semantic stories. On top of that, we have another character here, which is, if you write it in an isolated way, is Ren, and it's a person. I'm sorry, not a character, a component, but if you write it as a standalone character, it's Ren, it's a person. So it's very easy to start making semantic stories and start linking together why these elements together mean metal or gold. But as you can see, it's not like that in this particular case, because the top of the character is just there for its sound, jin, this character over here, which means today, the bottom, tu, soil, and these two strokes very probably only meaning the ore that you can see, that you can find in the ground, and therefore they point to the meaning metal, gold. The top points to the sound, jin, of the character as a whole. Now, you can find this character in basically anything that is related to money or metal or gold. So for instance, 现金 means cash. 现, I think, in this case would probably mean current, as in currency, or to appear, like something that you can actually see, 现金, so appearing cash or appearing metals or something like that would be cash. 黄金 is gold. 黄 just means yellow, so a yellow 金 is going to be gold. 美金 is the American dollar, because 美国 is America, so if you take out the 美 in 美国and add a 金 to it, it's going to be the American 金, so American dollar. 金属 is metal, as in metals in general. 属, it means to basically to belong to something, to belong to a group. And so anything that belongs to these jin, 金属, to the group of jins, is going to be a metal, as in a chemical. Not sure even how to say it. Not a chemical, but a type of consistency, or I don't know how to say it, but I hope you know what I mean. So 金属 is just metals in general. 金钱 is a double word for money, basically. The shortened version is just 钱. 我很有钱. I'm really rich, right? I heard that in an opera in Taiwan. And 金钱 is just a double word for that. More polite, I would say, more educated. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please leave a comment or hit the like button so that I know that these videos are okay and that I can make more. If you like learning about Chinese characters, feel free to read the book that I wrote about them. I will leave the link in the description under this video, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.